remember me describing the situation City of Jackson is in, where their obligations exceed the fund balance that they have available to meet those. The bill you have before us is offered by one of our House colleagues, Representative Bell of the 65th, and Ms. Yates, who both, I believe, represent Jackson and are in favor of this legislation. And so the hope would be here that we could move this forward. The only difference in the bill was in the House drafting. The language we had in our bill was stated in two portions of the code section. The House put the same language in a third spot in their drafting, and I've checked with Mr. Hennepin and his team, and he said either version meets the needs. And so we decided to take the House version on this. So yield for questions. If there are none, is there a motion? Title sufficient to pass. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that bill will be reported. The second bill, similar situation, was the bill that in this committee, Senator Harkins came and presented, that had to do with the construction manager at risk provisions. He did an excellent job of presenting that bill. We passed it, I believe, unanimously on the Senate floor. The version from the House has a couple of little differences that I'll explain here. The difference in this construction manager at risk bill in the House version is that it includes both community and junior colleges in this exemption. If you recall on this, this is only for projects over $25 million. I've done some checking, and I don't know of a community college project that will meet this criteria, but the House position was that they wanted to have this for IHL and for the community colleges as an option. This one requires 4 weeks notice for pre-qualification criteria instead of the 2 weeks that we had in our bill. And it also mandates that the project be set only after final construction drawings are complete. The final thing is that it puts a limit on self-performing work. So the contractor, if I can find my little notes here, has a provision in the House version that, not exactly right here, that allows a construction manager, or if it's affiliates, to self-perform up to 10% of the total construction work if their proposal is deemed fair and reasonable. The Senate bill, we did not have a limit on it, so I think this makes it stronger, and it certainly improves things. I did speak with colleagues and other people at IHL, and I do want to offer an amendment that we change the 10% to 20%. But those are the only changes that we're making to the bill. And so, Senator Williams, would you mind making that amendment first? That we move from 10% to 20% for the total construction work if their proposal is deemed.
Yes, I would move that we change the 10% to 20%.
Are there questions on the amendment? Seeing none, I move adoption of the amendment. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, with that change, are there questions on the bill? Senator Hobson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm trying to digest this quickly, but is this a proposal to take out of DFA the control over the construction projects at community colleges? And I know there have been a few limited IHL exceptions, but is this?
Yeah, this is only a project that exceeds 25 million. Yeah, and just like what it was in Senator Harkins' bill, and then on the construction manager provision, it puts that limit at 20% with the amendment.
So the project has to be over 25, and
yes.
Who would make the determination? Just the local community college board?
Well, so the way I understand it, there's not a community college project that's in this arena, so it'd be IHL.
Well, then why would we have the community college information in here if there are no?
Yeah, because the House offered that as an amendment, And because we're making the changes, this bill would go back to the House for either concurrence or for conference. But it's their position that that they would like to have community colleges included as well.
I just want, one distinction, I'm just trying to think through this. One distinction is, of course, that IHL is going to have a board that's a state board as opposed to community colleges, which is going to be a local board making those determinations. Not that that means they're bad decisions. I'm just
Right.
trying to process this quickly as to whether or not that's a move in the right direction. But thank you for the question, the answering my questions.
Yes, sir. And what I'll do too is I'll discuss it further with Senator Harkins. It's his bill originally, and again, I think we both would have preferred to take up the Senate language, but that doesn't appear to be a possibility with the referral that was that came on the bill. And so this is for an important need at IHL. And so in working with Senator Harkins, I wanted to try to get this moving along as quick as we can to get those discussion items in place. Senator Turner Ford.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You mentioned that there has not been a community college project that has reached the level of 25 million. Do we know the highest amount of projects or the highest amount for projects that they have performed? Was that number provided?
I would say there could be a time where it's reached that, but there's not anything active that I'm aware of right now that this legislation would impact.
Has it
Yeah,
even
but I will-
approached 25 million? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I don't recall one in the time that I've been here, but I could be mistaken on that, but I'll try to find that out.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Mr.
and good question. Senator Blunt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just encourage you to keep digging on this. My concern would be similar to Senator Hobson's concern. The authority and staff of the IHL board is very different than what exists at the community college board. And so the IHL has folks on staff who for years have been involved in overseeing building projects on the university campuses. And the community college board does not have that infrastructure or people in place. So I'm happy to keep the bill moving along, but I understand the logic of treating the community colleges the same as the universities, but because the boards are different and because of the staffing of the boards and it's different, and because IHL has been exercising oversight over buildings for years and years,
Yep.
And community college board has not. It probably just bears some further conversation, but I just wanted to bring that to y'all's attention.
As always, I think additional education and thought is needed on the bill as we have loosely named the committee now. And so I think those are great comments. Before we bring it up on the floor, I will have answers to those questions. So are there further questions on the bill? Committee sub. So a motion, title sufficient, do pass committee sub. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so that bill will be reported. Senator McMahon,
Chairman, just a parliamentary inquiry of the chair.
certainly.
I like the Senate version better, and I was just wondering, is there a reason we weren't going to do a strike all and put the Senate version before the committee?
We sometimes do that.
Yes, sir.
And there are some provisions in here that I think are good provisions. I think the community college issue is the only one of those that I think is not an issue that makes the bill stronger. So I didn't change it because I do think there's some things in here that are improvements to the bill, other than the discussion points that were brought up today.
Thank you for taking my question, Mr. Chairman.
This is after hours
No, no.
talk here, Senator Turner Ford.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So my question would be, I know we've amended the bill, and if you would consider it to be, if it would be appropriate, and this is, I guess, is for discussion, to perhaps reconsider it to actually insert a reverse repealer so that the bill.
We've already passed it. So We're now on a motion to rise and report.
I'd like. to
Senator
recognize
McMahon's
for a
question
motion.
came after the vote. And so I took a question after the vote.
Sure,
So,
thank
yeah, thank you.